Greetings, Rigil Agateiades here, and today we have a mobile suit I never thought I'd make a video on. Personally, I have a grudge against this mobile suit because of what it did to the Zeonic Swimming Club, but since some of you asked for it, I guess I'll give it a go. And I do have to admit, it does look kinda cool, but not everyone can play it that cool. Play it right and you can indeed be as heroic as it was in the assault of Torrington Base, but I think most of us never made it there. This is the mobile suit who captivated as many hearts with its incredible design as it disappointed with its very specific conditions, the 600 cost rate type Byarlant Custom. Needless to say, the most iconic feature of this mobile suit is its aerial mobility. With the skill flight system level 3, this mobile suit can fly above any obstacle before diving onto precisely the enemy support, guaranteeing its death with its 2 melee weapons if no one comes to save him. Even while the claw has a long cooldown so you can't do the infinite melee combo I like to use a lot, all you have to do is to squeeze in a normal stagger with your main weapon and he's the next one to be called a moving war museum. In addition to the 2 melee attacks, the Byarlant Custom also has a charge attack, this time not so much for doing damage, but to be the coolest aerial dash in the game. The large travel distance makes it a poor damage option, but it allows you to fly in any direction you want without consuming any thrusters. While flight system is active, enemy counters are also turned into downs, so you have less to worry about when using it out of the blue. Throwing melee attacks from any direction while being almost impossible to counter indeed makes the Byarlant Custom's aerial attacks a great threat. Even its ranged weapons are decent, so once in range it has no problem taking down any enemy mobile suit. Well, in the ideal scenario that is. Unfortunately, a few things greatly limit the situations where the Byarlant Custom can use its maximum performance. The first problem you'll realize very quickly is its lack of stagger reduction during its attacks. While flight system level 3 already loses the 30% stagger accumulation demerit, so you no longer lose to a single bazooka, the Byarlant Custom does not come with damage control, so it takes exactly 100% stagger to stop. You can push a little harder while you're on maneuver armor level 3, but good luck while you're meleeing or using your ranged attacks. The other thing is of course its controls. Flight system is powerful, but using it isn't simple. High spec flight control gives you the effect of AMBAC in space, but this time you can't afford to fail because you're timed by your thruster gauge. Rapid ascent and descent is hard enough on keyboard, but most of the time I still end up failing the AMBAC for that. Then you also have your melee weapons. Having 2 melee weapons give you longer melee combos, but it's not as simple as switching weapons on the Byarlant Custom thanks to the 5 seconds cooldown on the claw. Get hasty and you risk missing the combo as your claw isn't ready yet. But all of these are no big deal when compared to the problem you feel the most while using this mobile suit, is almost non-existent defense. With average base health but a gigantic hitbox, the Byarlant Custom soaks up every shot your opponent can throw at you the moment you get out of cover. Your special back add-on buffers and special shoulder buffers also aren't helping, as you're mostly taking hits with your legs or your extra wide torso. So while you can finish off support types in one combo, most enemies can also finish you off in one. As a result, using the Byarlant Custom isn't just about overcoming the difficulty in controlling this mobile suit, which is hard enough in the first place, especially if you're not used to space battles, but you also need to be good at using that aerial mobility just to survive. With flight system and the charge attack giving you full 3-dimensional control, lasting long enough on the Byarlant Custom is all about reducing your exposure using cover. By using the terrain properly, instead of approaching the enemy with maneuver armor like usual raid types, ideally you should already be in the enemy's face the moment you appear. Bridges like this one here in City Ruins are simply perfect, as your enemy cannot watch both sides at once. The other important technique to use on the Byarlant Custom is to use your opponent's dead zones. Because of how this game works, mobile suits can't look all the way up in ground battles. That's perfect for the Byarlant Custom, as it's a perfectly safe zone to hide in. This comes up a lot on this mobile suit due to its preference for melee fights. Use it properly and your enemies are leaving empty-handed. Now, melee attacks aren't the only good thing on the Byarlant Custom. While its melee attacks are its main damage, the base range attack of this mobile suit is actually higher than its melee attack, so squeezing in its ranged weapons are equally important. The main weapon on the Byarlant Custom is its Mega Particle Cannon. As a simple instant stagger, this weapon is your go-to whenever you need a filler in your combo. Overheating it when needed is highly recommended, as it can often net you a kill with all your melee follow-up. For raw damage, you also have the other option, the Mega Particle Cannon Rapid Fire. While the range of this fire mode is short, it comes with almost 2000 damage per second. You can also suppress enemies effectively with a flinch and 8% stagger on each hit, although it means you also have to be careful when trying to hit through teammates with its piercing effect. As the Byarlant Custom relies on the specific 3-dimensional playstyle, picking the right map for this mobile suit might be more important than even player skill. I mean, all I did was fly up and use a down attack, yet there's literally nothing our enemy could do here to stop us. Unfortunately, the Byarlant Custom is extremely picky with maps. If the map is wide, it becomes useless. If the map is flat, it also becomes useless. You can't really take it to space because flight system is no longer an advantage there anymore, and you simply cannot use flight system while underwater. This leaves you with very little choices, namely city ruins and maybe Arctic base. Here you can dominate easily by attacking your enemies from almost infinite possible angles, but anywhere else, don't even dream of getting close enough to toy your opponents by flying directly above them. That was the Byarlant Custom, the mobile suit that only works on 1 or maybe 2 maps at most, but once there, is as monstrous as it looks. With the ability to attack from every angle, trying to catch his attacks are even harder than guessing where a stealth mobile suit would attack from. Find an enemy alone and his chances of survival are slim with your 2 melee weapons. On the other hand, this mobile suit is fragile in every sense, so taking care not to be hit is crucial. Basically, keep flanking or bust. That's it from me today. Still don't like it because of what it did in Torrington, and the latest.